Hello, this is Brent Leary, and once again, it is time for This Week in Small Business, brought to you by the folks at smallbiztrends.com. And you always see me, well, typically you see me with a little co-host help as we go through some of the top articles on smallbiztrends.com. You might have seen this gentleman before on one or two of them. He is John Culberice Lawson. Thank you for joining me, sir.
Wow.
That's all you have to say is wow.
Yeah, just wow. Call
okay.
me sir and everything.
Yeah, don't get used to it. All right, so like I said, every week I get a list of the top articles on smallbiztrends.com. I get a chance to look at the three that I want to spend some time talking about it, and then I talk about it with somebody like this guy here. So without further ado, you're an e-commerce guy. He's a retail kind of guy. So this first one comes from Reva Lazansky. Reva is a well-known small business expert, and this article is on how to make the most of Independent Retailer Month for your business and community. So apparently, I had never heard of this before.
Right. Can't believe you never heard of this before.
Yeah, well, July is Independent Retailer Month. And I'm just
putting up my tree. I got my gifts wrapped.
Let me set up just a stat that was in this article. So it says, according to the organization's website, if every family in the U.S. spent an extra $10 a month at a locally owned independent business instead of a national chain, more than $9.3 billion would be directly pushed into the local economy.
Wow. Just $10 more a month.
Yeah, so you're a big time e-commerce
retailer guy. Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on this whole idea of a month dedicated to retail?
I think it's a great idea.
At the local level.
I think it's a great idea. I think it's the right time of month. You also have, things that go on with like Amazon during this month. Not like they're qualify as an independent retailer, but you can utilize, the holiday that's in this month, the Independence Day, to kind of champion some of this marketing and stuff. It's a reason to market. It's a reason to get people to shop with you. I think it's cool.
Yeah, you mentioned it is kind of ironic, just from my perspective, July has become Amazon Prime Day month.
Right.
And let's face it, the antithesis of the local retailer is Amazon.
I don't know.
No?
I mean, somewhat. I don't know. I don't know yet.
Well, wait a minute. You sell on Amazon,
right? But I'm a local. I don't know yet. I think it's the jury's kind of out. Although I do believe that a lot of small and medium retailers are feeling the pressure of online shopping.
Okay.
And when you talk online shopping, you do talk Amazon.
Well, one of the things that was pointed out, I want to make sure I get the hashtag right. If you want to follow what's taking place, the chatter around Independent Retailer Month, just check out the hashtag on Twitter, hashtag Indie Retail, INDIE Retail. So good stuff there.
Good.
All right, the second one, we're going to have fun with the third one a little bit. The second one, this kind of came out at the end of last week. The U.S. Supreme Court decided to, make everybody, give the states the option to make anybody who sells goods to people in their state the collection of sales taxes.
Right.
You are a small you're an e-commerce guy.
Yeah.
You're not a Amazon. You're not a big guy, but you sell to a lot of places.
Right, but we deal with all kind of retailers, and the effect is going to be somewhat laborious, to say the least, for a lot of business owners.
Well, what about you?
Me personally, no, I'll get over it.
So you're not freaked out about it?
I'm a little disappointed by the ruling, and really the thing is like, for me personally, I believe that this was it was inevitable to come at some point. All right. I mean, you have to look at the timeline of when this happened. We were real deep into a recession. A lot of local governments were looking for income streams, and that's when it's like, look, we need to start taxing these, entities that are online only. I have no problem with that. I mean, I think that's a good thing. But for people that sell on platforms like Amazon or eBay, I believe the platform should be the one that's collecting the tax for the third-party seller on that platform, and not let that be pushed off to the third party to do that collection.
Okay, so a lot of chatter was around who does this help or hurt the most? Does it help the local retailer because now, well, I don't even know. I can't even make a good argument for how it helps the local retailer.
Yeah,
I think
they
it
want to
actually
say
hurts
price parity.
I think it hurts the local retailer because now they have to, a lot of times, I've done it before, I'm sure you have and others. I bought things from stores because I didn't have to pay taxes,
Right.
where I would have to pay tax for that same thing on Amazon. Now, if everybody
where
has
would
to
you
collect,
not have to? Oh, you mean like from a third party?
yeah, like
online.
B&H,
Okay.
perfect example. They're in New York. They weren't collecting taxes for
Right.
when I bought stuff,
But Amazon,
but Amazon
was in Georgia.
So
Got it.
I immediately said, "Oh, as much as
Just
I love
save the-
Amazon,
save
it
the
saved me
6%,
$700 on
yeah.
one thing."
Right.
Now, B&H has to collect the same as Amazon, so there's not that incentive for me to buy from the local or the non-big guy as was before.
Okay, I can kind of see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what really? So the actual case is Wayfair, which is a large, store.
Oh, so they weren't collecting.
Yeah, it was South Dakota versus Wayfair.
Okay.
That's the case.
Right.
All right, and so they're saying, look, you're selling millions of dollars to our residents and collecting no tax. The downstream impact, though, it means like everybody, small or large, has to do this. My hope is that Congress gets involved and regulates who. Let's say you're a small retailer, you're doing 100,000 over the year. I mean, that's laborious for you to have to go through like 99 different tax, jurisdictions and figure out how much you have to collect for each of those areas. Of course, who's this really good for? It's good for people
The
like
local retailer.
No.
No, I'm just saying.
It's good for Intuit.
Well, yeah, but
It's
if
good
you're-
for the tax
if you're the
people.
local seller of, couches or whatever,
Right.
you actually are happy about that because
Exactly.
now Wayfair has to collect the taxes
Same
that
taxes,
you've been
yeah.
having to do.
And that seems fair.
Right.
So,
But on
I
the
get
end,
it.
on the big scale, Amazon kind of comes out pretty ahead because
I
of
think
all the
Amazon.
local retailers.
I think Amazon's
Yeah.
going to have to now collect taxes everywhere and just pass that on for.
You mean collect the taxes for their third-party sellers?
They're going to have to.
All right.
I don't
Interesting.
think Amazon's going to be able to sell something without tax on it, right?
Right.
So
Well, they're already in,
they're
like
gonna-
in 48 states or
Exactly.
something like that, so it's not a
just
big
like
deal for them.
roll it out for everything everywhere, and then it's not that big.
So they
deal
could
for
help
those
the little
guys.
guy.
They could.
All right, that's good. But we didn't mean for our Watching Amazon episode to
I'm
break.
sorry, but it's true.
That's
true.
a good one. All right, we'll get back to our regularly scheduled program. All right, so the last thing we're going to talk about, and I'll make sure I get this because I'm a big podcast fan. I know you listen to
Right, yeah.
podcasts, and this article from the Young Entrepreneur Council, podcasts to help you run your business. Here are 15 chosen by the experts. Now, there's a lot of them on here. Well, there's 15, of course.
Yeah.
Some like Entrepreneur on Fire, you've heard of.
Yeah, EOF, absolutely.
Visibility Vixen, this is an interesting one. I like this, it's kind of interesting name. Masters of Scale with Reid Hoffman. Everybody knows him from Netflix. Or no, LinkedIn. He's one of those. I don't know. The Opt-Out Life. Startups for the Rest of Us. All right, so there's a list of 15. I'm going to go off the board and ask you, which podcasts do you really listen to that you get a lot from?
Is Mixergy not on there?
Let's see. I think you only want to say that because you've been on
No,
the show.
I have been on the show. Please look for John Lawson and Mixergy.
Actually,
Psyched Out.
it's not, but you
It's
can
not,
you
but
can
I
bring
like
it up.
Mixergy.
Okay.
Absolutely, I love listening to that, and I know Tim Ferriss is on there.
Yeah, he's on.
Okay, Tim Ferriss, absolutely.
The Entrepreneur on Fire guy.
Yeah, the Entrepreneur on Fire guy. So I mean, I've listened to a lot of those, but definitely I like Mixergy.
Okay.
I do.
All right. So I guess I get a chance to ask myself which one.
What do you like?
Let me do the close up. the Small Business Trends one-on-one conversation series.
Yeah.
Really good.
Oh my God!
Gotta plug.
I
plug
can't
what
believe
we do,
you're
right?
plugging your
I'm plugging
own.
it. We're gonna plug it.
Oh
We didn't
my
make
gosh.
the list. So
Yes, you didn't make the list.
I'm going off the board. Anyway, so that is our 3 top stories for this week in small business. I'm Brent Leary. He's John Lawson. I'll see you next week.